Welcome to Mary's Menagerie. Today we're going to do transformations of 2 thrifted vines, 1 Dollar Tree purchase, and a tin can. Project number 1, unfinished caddy to flower box. This was a little wooden flower box that I bought at Goodwill for 99 cents. I'm going to take this little spackling compound and I'm going to fill all the little holes and the cracks. After I let it dry, I use my little finger sander to kind of sand over everything to make everything smooth. The next step is to use my Waverly Snow White chalk paint and put a couple coats on this. I cut out a piece of fabric with my peeking shears, and I'm going to use some Mod Podge to decoupage this fabric into the bottom of the little caddy. Next, I'm going to coat the top of the fabric with the same Mod Podge. I purchased these dessert glasses from Dollar Tree for $1.25, and I'm going to paint them with my Waverly black ink chalk paint. Here I am putting the first coat on. I had to put a couple coats on here to make sure it was completely covered. Then I took my Mod Podge again and put a nice coat on top of the paint. Of course, I did this to all 3 of them, even though I'm only showing one. Next, I'm going to fill the little dessert glasses with some greenery. I found this little mini bush at Hobby Lobby. I got it for 40% off. And here I'm just trimming some pieces to fit. I thought I was done here, but when I looked at it I realized there was something missing, so I decided to use a little resin medallion that I made in an earlier video. I'm using my Waverly black ink chalk paint to paint this. I had to cut out some of the video from when I first started on it because it was blurry. I don't know why it does that, but now I am putting some Waverly white wax over this so it can bring out all the little details a little bit. I'm using a baby wipe to wipe off the wax, and hopefully this will look good on the front of my little caddy. After I let it dry, I used this 3-in-1 beacon glue to attach it to my caddy. If you'd like to see how I made my little resin medallion, you can look at video 7 around the 340 mark, and I show you the third one that I make is actually this one that I'm using on this project. The last step is to use my Mod Podge and Mod Podge the medallion and the entire caddy to protect it from damage. And here is the final result. Project number 2, tin can trash to treasure. We started saving our tin cans. This is a dog food can because I thought, you know what, I can make some crafts from the tin cans. So I took my Waverly Snow White chalk paint and I painted this tin can white. I did have to paint this with several coats to make sure everything was covered. I found this napkin at Dollar Tree in a pack of napkins that cost $1.25, and I ironed it to get the wrinkles out as well as I could. And I took some water and I put it along the napkin so I could kind of tear it off so I wouldn't have like a definite edge at the top. And I am going to Mod Podge this napkin onto the can. I put a little Mod Podge on the can and then I attach the napkin, and I just do that process until I have the whole can covered. One thing I showed but I didn't mention was when you're going to Mod Podge or decoupage a napkin onto anything, make sure you take the second ply off or it's not going to work very well. I pulled it off without mentioning it earlier, and I wanted to stress that that is important, that you remove that second ply. After I made it all the way around, I took a paintbrush with some water on it and I tore off the extra napkin. Now I'm just going to touch up around the top and fold the napkin over so it doesn't look messy. Now I'm taking some more Mod Podge and I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge over the entire can. I didn't show it here, but I also had taken a little sponge and put a little bit of white paint to kind of hide the edges of the napkin. I had purchased these little round unfinished wood pieces and I painted them white. I purchased them at Dollar Tree, and I am gluing them now to the bottom of the can, and I'm filling the holes with glue so it looks a little bit nicer. I had purchased this garland. It was fall. And I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I'm sure it was like way on sale, 66% off, 75% off. And I decided to use it because the orange matches the orange in my napkin. I'm just going to add it to the top of the can to add a little bit of interest to it. My tin can is now decoupaged. It has 3 little feet on the bottom, and it's going to have a little bit of detail with this orange garland. The next step is to take this green foam that I purchased at Dollar Tree. It came in a pack of 3 pieces this size, and I played around with it a little bit, and I'm gonna actually put the pieces in there where they're pretty snug. I decided not to glue it in there in case I wanted to change my idea. And then I took these this little bush that I got from Dollar Tree for $1.25, and I trimmed it up, and I'm going to add it into the foam to make a little arrangement. And as you can see, the flowers match the purple in the napkin. And here we have the final result. Project number 3, badly painted wood to classy riser. I purchased these pieces of wood at Goodwill, and I believe I got them for 99 cents a piece. And they had a really bad paint job. It was all blurry because of the detail on the front of the wood. So I decided that I was going to make them look a little bit better. So here I am cleaning it up a little bit and taking off the stickers. I'm going to use my Waverly Maze chalk paint to put a couple coats on this. I put several coats of this yellow on, but I could never get rid of the words underneath. So I had to change my plan. I decided to use this Waverly chalk ink paint, and I painted everything black. I did have to put a couple coats of the black paint on there to make sure everything was covered well. After I let the paint dry, I took my Waverly white wax and I put a coat of that over the whole piece of wood for to add a little bit of protection to kind of seal the paint in. And since that one side has a texture on it, I wanted to bring out the details of the texture. So I put a coat on and I wiped it off with a paper towel to take the excess off. I saved the top for last. I'm putting a coat of the wax on, and then I'll be wiping off the excess. Now I'm taking those little wooden beads that I used on the bottom of my tin can, and actually showing you now how I painted those. I'm painting these black to use as little feet for my riser that I'm making here. I'm now using my hot glue to glue the little beads to the bottom of the piece of wood. Now I'm going to fill each of the beads with Elmer's glue, so there's a nice smooth texture on the bottom for when it's sitting on a table. Now after the glue dries, I am going to paint it black so it looks a little bit nicer. To protect the finish a little bit more, I'm going to use this dishwasher safe Mod Podge, which is a little bit more waterproof than the other. And here we have the final result. Here is a grouping of today's projects. Thank you for watching Mary's Menagerie. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.